Okay, just to give you a context, so we are from Career Launcher. Career Launcher, अगर आपको नहीं पता है तो Career Launcher aptitude preparation में जो सिविल सर्विसेज एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट जैसे यूपीएससी में, ऐसी एप्टीट्यूड के बहुत सारे एग्जामिनेशंस होते हैं कंट्री में, जिसमें जो सबसे बड़ा एग्जामिनेशन एप्टीट्यूड का माना जाता है दैट इज सीसैट. ओके, सो करियर लॉन्चर इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट रिवर्ड इंस्टीट्यूट इन कैट प्रिपरेशन. ओके, एंड at one time when CSAT was not a qualifying paper, at that particular time also it was the number one choice for UPSC aspirants for CSAT. So before we start, I'll just give you a little history about CSAT paper so that we all know what CSAT is and where it came from. Okay, so if we go back a little, in 2011, so this is the year when CSAT was first introduced. Okay, I'll just write it here so that you'll be able to understand. Okay, so in 2011, for the very first time, CSAT was introduced in the prelims examination paper. Before 2011, that is till 2010, the pattern was that you have a general studies paper in prelims and an optional subject paper in prelims. Okay, but then UPSC has changed this pattern, and in 2011 there are two papers in prelims examination. One is general studies, one is CSAT. Both are 200 markers, and your selection from prelims to main examination used to be done from 400 marks. So both marks of CSAT and GS used to be counted at that particular time, and cutoff used to be in between 190 to 240. So your CSAT marks plus your general studies marks both are being added, and then the prelims cutoff comes in. Usually cutoff used to be between 200, 210 or 190 or 185, and that's how between 2011 to 2014 the prelims examination happened. Okay, now in 2014, because of some backlash, some protest, UPSC have changed the pattern again, and what they did from 2015 is that the structure remains the same. There are two papers in prelims examination, GS and CSAT, but the CSAT paper will become qualifying. That means you just need to score 33% marks. Okay, which is out of 200, 66 marks. And then whatever be your score in general studies paper, on the basis of that the cutoff is being done. Okay, so your selection will be based on, in main examination will be based on from prelims to mains on GS marks, but you have to qualify CSAT. In case if you do not qualify in CSAT, whatever marks you have scored in GS will become nil, and you will not be able to qualify, go to main examination, even if you have scored 200 out of 200 in GS. Okay, so from 2015 till 2019, it was a qualifying paper, and people are able to score 66 marks. Generally, the paper pattern, paper difficulty level was average. Okay, then suddenly from 2020, UPSC have started increasing or dramatically changed the difficulty level of the examination. Okay, 2020 से UPSC ने अचानक से difficulty level एकदम increase करना शुरू कर दिया, and 2022, अगर आपने पेपर देखा है, if you have seen the 2022 CSAT paper, when I have actually seen it in 2022, I thought, you can't have more difficult paper than this. This is, the pinnacle of difficulty level. UPSC have made the most difficult paper ever, and probably, this is it. But then 2023, another surprise, UPSC has surpassed the difficulty level of even 2022. If you go and see 2023 actual UPSC examination paper of CSAT, this is the most difficult till now. 2024, they have reduced a little bit. They have reduced the difficulty level a little bit, but still it is high difficulty level paper 2024. More than above average difficulty level. But 2023, in some way, it is more difficult than even GATE examination paper. And now we'll get into the topic that for that we are here today. So we'll talk about CSAT paper now. Okay, so we'll talk about CSAT examination and we'll talk in a lot of detail about the CSAT paper. So yes, Pankaj, we're getting into CSAT. Okay, now it is important, for the freshers to know about the UPSC examination. That's why we have discussed that. So let's get into the CSAT. So as I told you, CSAT ka official name is General Studies Paper 2. It is conducted as part of UPSC Prelims. It's a qualifying paper. So you have multiple choice question in CSAT. So there are 4 options, only one right answer. If you mark the right answer, you'll get 2.5 marks. If you mark the wrong answer, you'll get 1/3 of that as a negative marking. It's a 2-hour paper, total 200 marks, 80 questions. I'm sorry. Okay, so 80 question, 2.5 marks for every question, 0.83 if you marks any negative, any question incorrectly, and your qualifying marks are 33% or 66. Let's talk about the CSAT paper syllabus. So what comes in CSAT paper? So you have comprehension, logical reasoning and analytical ability, interpersonal skills and communication skills, general mental ability, decision making and problem solving, basic numeracy up to class 10th level, and data interpretation. Let's understand what these are in a little detail. So comprehension, you have to read a passage and answer questions based on that passage. So this is basically reading comprehension questions. There is a passage and based on that passage there are questions being asked and you have to answer those questions. What you have to do is you have to understand the passage, interpret it correctly and critically analyze it to get to the right correct answer. If we talk about logical and analytical ability, so they test you on reasoning skills. So questions on arrangement, coding, decoding, all that series. The idea is ability to interpret pattern. You have to, look into the pattern, able to interpret them, analyze them, and then come to the correct answer. Then comes decision making and problem solving based questions. Here you have situational questions, ethical and rational decision based questions. General mental ability, so you have maths, quantitative aptitude and numeracy based questions, so percentage, ratio, time, speed, distance, a lot of other things. We'll discuss that in detail. Then comes your basic numeracy and data interpretation. So numbers based questions, orders of magnitude, relation based questions. Then you have charts, graphs, tables, data sufficiency. So data interpretation questions are data-based questions. You have charts, graphs, and data sufficiency kind of questions. So that's all about CSAT ka syllabus. One important factor before we go ahead into the CSAT paper, one important factor that CSAT is also part of a lot of PCS examination. So there are 20 plus states who have already adopted CSAT. Almost at every place it is a qualifying paper again. Okay, but my point is that if you prepare for UPSC CSAT, you will also automatically get prepared for your state examination CSAT. Plus you will also get prepared for other different examination of aptitude like SSC, banking and all, at least the aptitude portion. I'm just given a list, you can just see. So UP, MP, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Assam, Odisha, Punjab, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, all of them have CSAT in the state PCS, Karnataka, Kerala, Uttarakhand, Jammu, Kashmir, Himachal, Arunachal, Meghalaya, Tripura and Manipur. All of them have CSAT paper as a qualifying paper. And there are states where CSAT is part, because they take only one paper in the prelims, CSAT is part of that particular paper. So in Bihar, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Goa, CSAT is part of that general studies paper. So there is a dedicated section of aptitude question that comes in the GS paper itself. Okay, so in more than 20 states, CSAT is there, UPSC CSAT is there. Okay. Now, if we divide the whole syllabus that we have discussed of CSAT paper into 3 sections, it will be verbal section. Verbal means your reading comprehension, reading passage. Then there is reasoning section, then there is quant. Reasoning is your analytical reasoning, logical reasoning, and quant is your maths, GMA, basic numeracy, all those questions. So, in the subsequent slides, we usually talk in this language. So, verbal, reasoning, and quant. So, when we analyze the examination paper, we'll analyze based on these three sections. We'll give you any strategy, we'll give you based on these three sections. Important topics, again with a caution that when I say important topics, when I say number system is an important topic, that doesn't mean that other topics are not to be done. Only these topics are to be done. No. I'm not saying only these topics are to be done. I'm saying these topics are to be given a little more time, more practice than the other topics. Okay? Because UPSC is unpredictable service commission. And you should be ready for every kind of a surprise. That's why when we do test series, when Career Launcher do CSAT test series, how it is different from anybody else in the market, that not even 2 tests you will find which are similar to each other. If we are giving you 12 mocks, we are giving you 12 different scenario mocks, so that you'll be ready for each and every possibility when you give the actual CSAT examination paper in the UPSC exam. Okay. When we do our course, we'll give you 3000 practice questions, out of which 1000 practice questions we're gonna do in the class itself. Okay. The idea is to give you exposure to each and every possibility that could be there, so that you should not be ill prepared. You should be ready for every kind of surprise, every kind of questions out there in CSAT, and your attempt will not get wasted because of CSAT at least. Okay. So number system, HCF, LCM, percentage, profit loss, ratio, proportion, age, part, time and work. These are the important topics. Average. We'll also give a little more time to these topics when in the classes. Okay, we're gonna focus more on that, but that doesn't mean that we'll not cover the other topics. Okay. Why we are not moving? Okay. Reasoning, syllogism, blood relation, direction sense, coding, decoding, series based question, calendar, ranking order, continuous letter series, clocks. These are the important topics. English, it's reading comprehension only, but what you need to understand, which I have explained it to you, that there are level 1, 2, 3, 4 level questions. So one passage, one question, one passage, 2 question, one passage, 3 question. So you have to make sure that you practice for every kind of passage where you have 1 question, 2 question, 3 question or 4 question. Okay, and you practice with both abstract based passages and both general studies, current affairs based passages. And that's how we have also prepared the practice questions. Okay, now this is what I now started calling CSAT an attempt eater. Okay, why? I'll just give you one single example, and there are hundreds of examples like this. I know a lot of my students who are into the same territory. This particular student, obviously I have not shown the name, is my student. This student in 2023 examination scored 93.6 marks in paper 1. Okay, and you go see the paper of general studies, paper 1 of 2023, it was a very difficult paper. The cutoff was somewhere in the range of 75, 77. This student have scored 93 marks. 100% very good student. Okay, in the general studies section, 93 marks into that particular paper is very, very good marks. But see what he has done in CSAT. 49.18. Not qualified in the prelims examination, even after scoring 93.6 marks in general studies paper where the cutoff was 77 or 78 something. That's what CSAT can do to your attempt. And this is not one story, there are hundreds of stories like this. Getting 66 marks in CSAT have started becoming a big task. Okay, and that is why you require someone who knows, understand aptitude, who is an expert into aptitude. You don't require a UPSC expert for CSAT, because it's a very, very different paper than your usual papers of other papers of UPSC, which are essay paper or the general studies paper or optional subject paper. You require a very different approach and you require a different kind of expert to crack CSAT paper. And Career Launcher, who has a legacy of, who has a history of teaching aptitude, the faculties that is gonna teach you are 20 plus year of experience into teaching aptitude. Somebody is teaching for 25 years, 22 years, and they've been teaching aptitude whole their life. If they're teaching quant, they are quant expert only, and they have been teaching from past 25 years quant for aptitude paper. So the way they teach you, the way they taught you, their whole exercise or expertise is to make sure that you clear the paper. And that's how Career Launcher's aptitude preparation is different than any other coaching in India, whether it is for CAT, whether it is for CLAT, whether it is for CSAT. That we teach you the basics as well as how you can actually qualify into the paper. Okay. So, few of the reasons, few of the I'm telling you so that you don't get into that trap, of last few years, that what happens in CSAT with most of the students and, where they actually falter. Become is asking for guided program, how much we had to pay. So Become, there are different, there are 2 to 3 variants of the program. On an average for a CSAT full program with test series and everything, study material, you have to pay roughly $10,000. Okay. Now, so one big mistake that student does is that they underestimate CSAT, because it's a qualifying paper. You just need to score 33%, 66, and they get into that trap that I'll do it later. It's just a small paper where I have to qualify. It is not. At least from past 2 years, it is not at all. Even 3 years. Okay. So don't get overconfident. Even if I can bet you, even if you are from the very, very elite colleges, you have done your graduation from the very good elite colleges, you get into reading comprehension, you see the kind of question that's being asked last year or last to last year. You'll be amazed to see that it's very difficult to crack those. I'm sorry. Another, which I have discussed a lot with you in my session right today, that the unexpected nature of the paper. Okay. There is no significant pattern at all. From one topic, there used to be 11 questions, then 0 question. And difficulty level increasing every year. I'll just give you one example of difficulty level increasing. So I have analyzed last 6 years, last 5 years, maths quant section, okay, actual CSAT paper. In 2019, there was, and I have divided the, paper into easy, difficult, moderate, those question level, okay. So in 2019, there were 14 easy questions in maths and there were 5 difficult questions in maths and 13 questions are of average difficulty level, moderate level, okay. Now cut to 2023, 8 easy questions. From 14 that has been reduced to 8. The easy question have been reduced to 8. From 5, the difficult question have been increased to 14. And the moderate difficulty level question from 13, they have been increased to 21. So overall, your above average level question, which were 18 in 2019, in 2023, you have 35. That means double. Difficulty level to double already ho gaya. So your difficult question or above average difficult question from 18 question that have been increased to 35. And your easy question from 14 to 8, that means half. So that itself shows that the paper have become double the difficult that it was. Okay, so it's not easy to score 66 out here. Another problem with a lot of students in CSAT is that they study CSAT but they don't do that kind of practice which is required. See, these are the topics, all these sections, whether it is reading comprehension, whether it is reasoning, or whether it is mathematics, if you don't practice question, learning them is not of no use. Learning those fundamental concepts are of no use. That is why we do 3000 plus practice question in the whole CSAT program. That is why 1000 plus questions we solve in the class itself. Okay, so every class that runs out here in Career Launcher, it's of let's say 3-hour class. So first 1 hour is dedicated to concept building, so we'll teach you basic concept. Then next 2 hours out of which, so 1 hour is concept, 1.3 hours, that means 1.5 hours is given to practice. So we'll solve question, faculty plus you will solve question, and last 30 minutes we'll do the doubts. So that's how we teach you. So maximum portion in our class is dedicated towards practice, because that's how you have to prepare your CSAT. Okay, so you have to allocate time for your practice. Previous year question paper, super important. Okay, so in the class itself we do previous year question paper. So for every topic in every class we'll do previous year questions from that particular topic also. And mock test. So we give you 12 All India mock test, 10 sectional test, and then those workbooks, okay, for practice. And another important thing, ignoring one section completely. You cannot do that. You just cannot do that. See, in every topic, in every section, you will find few of the easy questions which you cannot miss. So if you are ignoring a section completely, let's say you are not good at maths and you ignore maths, you say I'll only do reasoning and verbal, reading comprehension, and I'll clear the paper, because to score 66 marks you require 27 correct answers, 27 question, if you don't do any wrong answer. So without negative marking, 27 question you have to solve. So you say I'll solve based on reading comprehension and reasoning, I'll not touch maths. The paper becomes so difficult that there are very hard question in every topic, and there are few easy questions which will help you to get to that qualifying score. And if you are leaving maths completely, you're leaving questions like this. Just read this question. This is a CSAT 2023 paper question. Okay, and I want you to write the answer of this in the chat window. So they are asking what percentage of water should be mixed in honey so that on selling this mixture at the price of honey, there is a profit of 20%. I want you to write the answer of this question. Okay, few more answers. None of you. Is it this difficult level question? Any one of you? So Thirumala, you are right. See, it's the most easiest question in the 2023 paper. If you're not able to even solve that or comprehend this question, you really require to pull up your socks in CSAT, and you have to do a lot of effort. Okay, just to give you so what they're asking, that let's say if you are selling honey at 100 rupees, okay, let's say 1 liter honey you are selling at 100 rupees, they're saying if we have to mix water into it and we have to take profit, but we'll be selling it at 100 rupees only. So how much is to be mixed to get that 20% profit? Obviously you will mix 20% more water because you are selling it at the same price. So if you have to dilute it to 20% and you'll get the 20%. So that's the answer. Yes. So Akshita also got the right answer, Deepika. So these kind of easy questions are coming in CSAT, and if you're not attempting those questions, if you're leaving a section behind, that will not be good, obviously, for you to qualify the paper. Also, not attempting enough questions or attempting too many questions. As I told you, require 227 correct answer. But let's say you have only attempted 27 and out of which 2 are wrong. You'll get negative marking and you'll not be able to qualify. Or if you have attempted too many questions, you have attempted all 80, obviously there'll be, you cannot sustain the accuracy level, and because of negative marking there are chances that you will not be able to qualify. Okay, so what strategy is then required? Okay, how you should attempt your paper? Okay, so if we talk about CSAT exam strategy, okay, कविता इज सिंह थोड़ा हिंदी में भी बताओ. ओके, हिंदी में भी बता देते हैं. दीपिका इज सिंह, सर मैं 3 बजे के बाद जुड़ी, उसके पहले क्या बताया आपने, क्या रिकॉर्ड मिलेगा वीडियो? यस, ये क्लास अगर आप CSAT का ज्वाइन करते हैं कोचिंग हमारे यहाँ, तो ये वाले क्लास आपको वीडियो फॉर्म में मिलेगा. ठीक है, सारी क्लासेस का वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग होता है, वो आपको मिलेगा. सो CSAT एग्जाम की करेक्ट स्ट्रैटेजी एज पर अस, एज पर करियर लॉन्चर, दैट यू शुड एम एट अटेम्प्ट रेट ऑफ 50%. दैट मीन्स 40 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने हैं आउट ऑफ 80. 80 में से 40 क्वेश्चन हमें अटेम्प्ट करने हैं. एंड जो एक्यूरेसी लेवल है वो मुझे क्या रखना है, 80%. तो इतना हम आपको पढ़ा देंगे, इतना हम आपको प्रैक्टिस करा देंगे, इतना हम अच्छे से आपके डाउट सॉल्व कर देंगे, कंसेप्ट्स करा देंगे, दैट यू विल बी एबल टू हैव एन एक्यूरेसी लेवल ऑफ 80%. दैट मीन्स आउट ऑफ 40, 32 आप करेक्ट मार्क करके आए, 8 आप इनकरेक्ट मार्क करके आए. अगर आप ये रखते हैं तो you'll still clear CSAT exam with 73.36 मार्क्स, बिकॉज इस 8 की वजह से नेगेटिव होगा, 32 का पॉजिटिव होगा, सारा मिला के 73 मार्क्स, 75 मार्क्स आप फिर भी स्कोर करोगे. ओके, सो दैट शुड बी हाउ यू शुड अटेम्प्ट योर CSAT पेपर. प्रिपरेशन की राइट अप्रोच क्या है? सो सबसे पहले सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कवरेज ऑफ सिलेबस. कुछ भी छोड़ना नहीं है. यू नीड नॉट टू मिस एनीथिंग इन दी syllabus. Everything has to be done, because last 6 years से अगर कोई टॉपिक से क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा, इंटरपर्सनल स्किल से, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल से नहीं पूछा, दैट डजंट मीन इस साल नहीं पूछेंगे, अगले साल नहीं पूछेंगे. दैट इज हाउ UPSC ऑपरेट्स. परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन का 2024 में 0 क्वेश्चन आया, अगले साल 10 क्वेश्चन आ जाएंगे. सो आप किसी भी टॉपिक को यू कैन नॉट मिस. यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट यू आर covering each and every topic of whatever there in the syllabus. नहीं करेंगे तो आप परेशान होंगे, आप क्वालिफाई करने में it will be very difficult. प्रैक्टिस 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 बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, I told you we are doing 3000 question practice in our CSAT program. Okay, because these topics you can not do without practice. Okay, there is nothing to cram, there is nothing, रटने का कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे. Take guidance to fast track your CSAT prep. See, another important thing that a lot of students miss, कि कोचिंग लेने से क्या होता है, आपका टाइम कम इन्वेस्ट होता है उस पर्टिकुलर चीज. आप जल्दी अपना सिलेबस कवर कर पाते हो, आप जल्दी अपना प्रिपरेशन कर पाते हो. वही चीज आप खुद से करोगे तो जो हम 2.5 मंथ में करा रहे हैं वो शायद आपको 5 मंथ्स ले जाएगा. एंड इन UPSC यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, आपको GS भी करना है, CSAT भी करना है, ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट भी करना है, करंट अफेयर्स भी करना है, न्यूज़पेपर भी पढ़ने हैं, आपको इंटरव्यू की तैयारी भी करनी है. इतना सब कुछ आपको करना है, ऐसे भी प्रिपेयर करना है, लैंग्वेज का पेपर भी करना है. आपके पास टाइम ही तो नहीं है. एंड यू हैव टू मेक श्योर आप हर सेकेंड, हर मिनट, हर घंटे को, हर दिन को, हर महीने को आप बहुत अच्छे से यूज़ करें. एंड दैट्स वेयर अनदर गुड thing that you do when you join a guidance program, when you take guidance from some mentor, you'll be able to go through the syllabus in a speedy way, in a consistent way, and jaldi aapka khatam ho jata hai. Previous year questions, PYQ means previous year questions, very important. We cover it in every class, very very important. And the test series, you cannot miss the test series in CSAT. It's a practice based paper. You have to make sure, for example, in our test series, as I told you, there are 12 we do 12 mocks. Every mock is different from each other, so you have to make sure You attempt each mock, and then finally when you go to the CSAT paper, nothing will surprise you after that.